having me here today, and thanks for coming to our presentation on Tuscany. It's great to be here in Montana and in Missoula, and to present this great trip. Many things we can discuss. In fact, we could still be here tomorrow discussing this program. So with the aid of slides in a moment, we're going to briefly go through the program. We'll see the sights and sounds, included tours, the value that we bring together as a wholesaler. We'll show you how to sign up for the trip using either the paper forms in front of you or online, our booking engine. And then after that, we'll open up to questions and answers. Yeah, I think that's what our aim is. We're heading, as we can see here from the photo at the front, to Tuscany, a great destination, a destination that is the American traveling public have a romance with. It's a friendly destination. It's full of culture and history and warm and inviting, friendly people that welcome American travelers open-heartedly. March is a good period to go into this region. We are traveling in Europe, so we are very much like Montana, I believe. We can get all sorts of weather in one day. But there is no rainy season. It's a great time to go. We specialize in these shoulder and season dates. By heading into these regions at this time, we can gain great value for money. We can bring quality hotels, good airlines. The lines at the various sites are good. We're not with the masses in Pisa, where you can't see the Leaning Tower, and we'll see some photographs in a moment of this particular time period. So March the 7th through to the 15th. In a moment we'll go through, but let's just talk a little bit about who Aventura World is. We are a wholesaler of travel, and we've been in business since 1972 as a wholesaler of travel. We contract directly at the source. So what does that mean? That means that we bring forth tremendous value for money to you without affecting the quality. We contract directly with the hotels, the airlines, the buses, the venues, the guides, all components of the program. So we don't have a middleman. We have offices all over the world, in California, New Jersey, Paris, Rome, London, Delhi, and Cairo. Through our head office is our Sakara International is our holding company, and they have thousands of employees worldwide, and they have known riverboats, hotels, bus companies, and other travel-related entities. We're dedicated to bringing forth the treasures of the world at a relaxed pace. This particular program is what we call our cruise philosophy on land. Very similar to heading over to Seattle or LA or Miami and jumping on a cruise ship and cruising for 7 nights. We're going to do something very similar, but on the land. So we'll head out to a place called Montecatini, Terme. We'll unpack our suitcases, take the cruise out of clothes, and relax for 7 nights. And one day we'll head north, the next south, east, or west, experience a different culture, a different history, a different site, without that constant packing and unpacking like you would on a cruise ship. What's different is hopefully our hotel doesn't move in the evenings like a cruise ship would, but we move in the day. It allows you to infiltrate into the Italian community, to find a favorite bar, restaurant, and truly have that relaxing program that we want you to have. Simply put, there's no constant packing and unpacking. The treasures, there are numerous treasures on this program. from the ones that you may have heard of and seen, like the Leaning Tower of Pisa, the Duomo in Florence, other things that you may not. And we're a big believer in not only seeing the sights and the sounds, but learning a little bit about the culture, the local industry, maybe some entrepreneurship. One of the treasures to me is the quality of the leather goods in Italy. I'm a little sad because I just lost a pair of gloves that were as soft as butter. And I lost them and they disappeared before I got back. I knew exactly where they were. But blue leather gloves that I got in Florence. But we also bring in the stone masonry and the art of jigsaw work with stones, precious and semi-precious, which you'll find in the cathedrals and the churches, and it's a lost art. There's a few stonemasons still do produce. Others, such as the Chianti regions, a farmhouse, where we'll have a typical Chianti Tuscan style dinner, and a whole host of things as we go through. We're also the official travel provider of ACC, the Association of Chamber of Commerce Executives, which is an international chamber advocacy group. We follow their standards of quality and their codes of ethics, and we're proud to be that official travel provider. Lastly, we hope you agree at the end of the presentation, we class ourselves as a leader in value-priced first-class programs in the United States, and we hope you agree once you see the pricing and the included features. So, here we are again. You all have the ability to see the brochure that's in front of you. Importantly, you don't need to be from Missoula or Montana to go on this trip. You might have friends in Florida, family in Seattle, ex-neighbors in Texas. Let them know you're going. We'd be happy to accommodate them out of their own airport. But let's head off and disappear into Italy. So what this program is going to bring to you: spectacular, world-famous architecture, rolling, lush green hills, and some of the most famous wines in the world. Fabulous. Italian cuisine, warm and inviting, friendly, and in most cases English-speaking nation. Architecture, some of the finest artists in the world that have shaped history, you'll see on this particular program. We will depart out of Missoula non-stop into Rome. Wait and see if anybody's listening. That is not going to happen. I make a comment. Your founding fathers, there's a reason. You've got open lands here. It's not easy to get in and out of Montana. And your founding fathers, I think they purposely did that, and they've continued. But we will be. We have a few airline schedules already set for you. We don't release them until later on because they can change. But hypothetically, we'll be going to from Missoula to an international gateway city, like a Seattle, like a Denver, like a Minneapolis, and then we'll be flying over to a European international gateway, and then into Florence after that. So it'll be an overnight flight, and it'll be on the way back, very similar, but it will be going with the sun all the way. It'll be a day flight on the way back. But there'll be food, there'll be drinks along the way, and this is the area we're going to. So we all know the famous boot of Italy, and this is a TV we don't really see that may point up. So this is the region that we're going to right here. You can see Florence right here. Now Montecatini is right over here, and this is the region right here that we're looking at right here. So that's the area we're going to, and day 2 will find us welcome to Italy. As soon as we arrive at Florence Airport, which is a small airport, we'll meet our tour director and we'll be on our modern air-conditioned motor coaches for a short transfer from Florence over to Montecatini Terme. Montecatini is a Roman, one of the original wellness centers of Europe. It was built during Roman times. This is the Roman spa itself. The architecture is fabulous. It's a working Italian town. Everything that you need is here. 7 nights. It's a great location. It holds a great location in the entire area, and we'll go back again to the map here. You can see from here you've got Florence, a hop, skip and a jump, Siena, Pisa, a hop, skip and a jump, Cinque Terre on the coastline, very, very close. So it's a great, great location. And there's bars, restaurants, shops. One of the best pizzerias that I've ever had anywhere in the world is a hop, skip and a jump from our hotel. And here we are overlooking Montecatini itself. Now the spa, it was a wellness center. Each hotel that we have usually has a spa. If you wish to, you can sample the therapeutic waters. We don't recommend it. It's not a rejuvenator, it's more of a diuretic. It's a cleansing spa, so it's not a good idea to have too much of that when you're on a vacation. But here we are, downtown, the pedestrian area. This is about a 5-minute walk from our hotel. We always use first class, 4-star Italian-style hotels on our program, centrally located. On this program, we historically use the Tamarici Principe, which is an Italian 4-star. But here you can see the main street itself. The first night's a night to relax, maybe head out for a walk. You've been traveling for a little bit. Go into a local coffee shop. There's a great chocolate maker in town. There's a great baker with cookies and cakes, and just relax and take it nice and easy. There are a few tours included on this program, and it's a lovely program because of what is included. The first full day tour is a tour of Florence, the home of the Renaissance, and we're looking at the Duomo here. We'll have our own tour director on the program, but we'll also have a specialized Florence guide on this particular program. We use what's called whisper systems, which are the guide will have a microphone, a shortwave radio, and they will beam their voice through into a Walkman and headsets that you'll be having, that we'll be giving you for the program. We'll see the architecture of the Duomo, and there are many churches on this particular program, a lot of architecture. The outside of the Duomo is spectacular. The inside is not as good as some of the others. So we try and bring forth the best. We don't want to do another bloody church type tour. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of entities out there that just do church, and there are so many good ones. We'll bring forth from the outside all the history and the spectacular architecture. We'll learn of its culture. We'll learn of its designers and its sculptors, and we'll also go to its famous vantage point of Florence, where in the old days, the old movies, you'd see Sophia Loren, maybe, and Tony Curtis in the movies with a red sports car overlooking here. Mm-hmm. Spectacular, as you can see. We'll head across the famous bridges, a little bit of free time to take it easy. We'll see the Plaza del Signore, the main square and focal point of Florence itself. You'll see how this area hasn't changed a whole host. Here we are at Plaza Vecchio, the famous sculptures at either side of it. Here it is back in the 1400s. A mirror image. The clock tower is the same. The fountains, the arches with the statues. If you look at it here and look at it on the 1400s, you can see we're stepping back in time. Great photo opportunities, great educational experience as you view this area. We'll continue on to part of our cultural discovery series, and this is what I'd mentioned. It's one of the treasures. An art that is slowly being lost. This is the mosaic art of precious, semi-precious stones that are placed in mosaics. Most of the churches and the cathedrals and the villas of the rich and wealthy had such handmade tiles, handmade mosaics in the floor, and we'll be learning on how this is done. You can just, if you just look, you can just see a diamond studded wire that's cutting through that stone there with a bow. The chap's got a bow in his hand, and they're making such things as this. That picture on the right hand side is actually made out of stones. Here you can see a picture at the top, a boy painting the fence, and down below you can see the replica of it in stone. It's a fabulous interaction of art and again, something that's slowly getting lost, and there's very few people that still are involved in this industry. We'll have some free time, relax, take it easy, wander down the back streets. We do have it, we'll learn a little bit about Italian leather. This is where you can get some great gloves, great bags and such things as that. And then we'll come back to the hotel in Montecatini Terme that evening. The next included full day tour is Pisa and Lucca. We've all seen the Leaning Tower of Pisa. And this is one of the beauties of going in the March, April, October, November period. And I have many relatives, many friends that have been to Pisa in June, July, August, and thoroughly were dissatisfied because you can't get anywhere close to the place. You can't see it because there's so many people around. And here's a shot of whilst we're here. Yeah, you might need a light sweater or a light jacket, but we're not going for sunbathing. We're not going to swim in the rivers like all those people are doing out here tonight, enjoying the river. We're going there for culture, history, an adventure through travel, and to learn about the destinations. Here we are at the baptistry. We'll be going inside because of its acoustics. Is unbelievable. We'll be going inside the cathedral itself, heading through the large bronze doors that we're looking at here, learning about the building itself, which was designed by Michelangelo. Here's a shot from pushing the Leaning Tower. We don't include the Leaning Tower on the program, but if you wish, there is free time when you can wander up there. There's a tour every 20 minutes, or they allow people every 20 minutes to go up. And it is fascinating to go up to the top, and if you haven't already, and you can handle steps because there are no elevators there. But it is fascinating just to feel the leaning nature of the tower as you go around, and you will feel it. Your body will go from one side to the other side as you're trying to righten yourself, go up the stairs, and eventually get to the top, which we're looking at right here. And then you can feel the true leaning nature of it. We'll continue on to Lucca. It is one of the imperial cities, one of the walled cities. Have always been in fights between Pisa, Florence, and Lucca. Then the very wealthy families and land barons were always with their armies fighting between each other. Lucca was never ever occupied, and here's one of the reasons why. It's still a walled city today. It is a large walled city. Once you get inside the walls, and here we are with our private and specialized Lucca guide. You can see the microphone that she has. And once you're inside there, it is unbelievable. The narrow cobbled streets. We'll be learning of the towers, the bell towers, lookouts. We're at the home of Puccini. And here we are at his School of Music. As we wander past it, you'll hear all the music coming out from its students. There are a couple of towers that if you wish to, you can go to the top of. Here you've got one with spectacular views looking down at the main square. Our tour finishes in the main square that we're looking at here. And then you get some free time to wander. Maybe go and get a cup of coffee or a slice of cake. Head up to one of the towers. and relax and take it easy. And here we've got some shots inside. Look, spectacular shopping inside here. Local old families that have had the shops for a long time. No chains at all in any shape or form inside the walled city itself. Our next tour is San Gimignano and Chianti. So we're heading out to the Manhattan of Italy, and we're looking at it there, San Gimignano. At the height of, San Gimignano is a merchant city. At the height of its power, there was, I think, approximately 58 of these towers. They can go up to 15 stories high. And they would show the wealth of the merchants because of the money that was there. Look what we can build. There's about 10 of them left in today's day and age. We'll have a guided tour down below of Lucca. Great shopping. We'll see the typical pottery from this area. Here's some more of those towers, some of the narrow streets, great things to take photographs of. Here we are in the main square itself, which is the focal point. Wander around some of the little shops on your bit of free time, and here's some of the typical, this region's of Lucca's yellow, San Gimignano, what am I saying? San Gimignano's pottery of blue and yellow. We'll continue on into one of the most famous wine growing areas, into Chianti Classico. There are many places that might have Chianti, but really the only place that can call it Chianti is in the Classico area. So we're going to the Chianti Classico area, and we'll be heading to a small family-run vineyard. Not only do they produce wine, but also balsamic vinegar. Balsamic vinegar is fabulous here, and it's not the runny, watery stuff. It's almost like maple syrup, very sweet, a tangy sweetness. But we'll learn on how they make their wines, the whites, and there are some reds in this area too. We'll learn of the fermentation process, the barreling, bottling process. We'll sample some of the wines too. Have a little bit of food to wash down the wines, some typical meats and cheeses and salamis and breads and such things as that. And then heading back along the way, back to the hotel, we stop at a small farmhouse and we'll have a rustic Tuscan dinner with wine again. And it's another vineyard, and we'll sample some of their wines and such things as that. The next included tour. So really all your tours except one are included. One of the great values for money you have here is to Siena. Siena is a magnificent city. It was untouched during the Second World War. So it is intact as it has been for centuries. And again, you can see it as it has been for centuries. You can see the main clock tower right there, and it's still right there in the center itself. You can see the blue dome from the Duomo, and it's still there. As we wander through with our specialized Siena guide, you'll see sections left over from years gone by. Stables in the bottom of the houses where everybody used to have a horse back then. Rings that they tie horses up outside their houses in the main center itself. Some horses are still there, but the majority have been turned into apartments. But here we are wandering through, and here's another great shot in those narrow cobble streets. Eventually we'll be in the main square itself. You may have seen the main square in travel magazines, travel TV shows. You may also have seen it because of its horse racing. This is a section where they race on the cobble streets. It's a bareback horse race. Happens every year. It just happened, I think, last month. And no stirrups, no reins, just cling on for your life. They fill this area with sand and soil, and they race around this area. For those people who might be James Bond fans, you might have seen, again, the race on James Bond, the first one with Daniel Craig. But here you can see around the outside, the grey areas where they race. The center section that stands, all those windows are sold for vantage points. And here we are, a little bit of the winning horse right there. We'll learn of the pageantry, the pomp and ceremony will go into the Duomo here. Not only is it spectacular from the outside, it is unbelievable on the inside. The stained glass, the sculptures, the mosaic works, and such. It is unbelievable. Now, we're a big believer in bringing forth a quality program at a great price with air from your local airport, first class hotels, as many meals as possible, as many tours as possible, somebody to look after you on the program. And then somebody might want to have a free day just to wander and do nothing at all. So in this program, we do have a free day. Other people may say, I'm only here once, so I want to be on the go every minute. So if that's your case, we have a tour to Cinque Terre, the 5 fishing villages. We'll be heading out to the Adriatic coast, to Cinque Terre. Cinque Terre are spectacular coastal villages. There are 5 of us, 5 of them. We go to 3 of them. We never know which 3 we'll go to until really the day. Some are accessible by boat, some by train, some by bus, some only by walking. But you'll be going to 3 of them and just viewing the spectacular ancient fishing villages, small ports, narrow cobble streets, multicolored buildings, and it's a fabulous experience. Now, if you don't want to, lots of things to do, some free time, wander the shops of Montecatini, sit out and drink coffee. Here we are again in the downtown square of Montecatini. See the shops around the outside. You can see something like a golden waterfall on the right hand side around about 3 o'clock from the center. That's a great restaurant with inside and outside seating. And that's the pizza place, fabulous pizza. But also they have great meats and such things as well. You can head up to, on a free day, if you wish to, go to Montecatini Alto. Montecatini Alto is a small village on a hillside overlooking Montecatini terminates, where that first shot was taken that we opened with, looking across Montecatini. So there you are with it. You might wish to visit the local delicatessen, see about the meats, the cheeses, head into the markets, do a little bit of shopping, head back to Florence. The train station is only a hop, skip, and a jump away if you'd like to jump on the train and go back to Florence and get lost in Florence, or just take it easy and relax. Do nothing at all and just experience Italy. Before we know it, we'll have spent 7 nights in Montecatini. It'll be time to come home back to Montana with memories of the Tuscan landscape, with a warm and inviting soccer crazy Italian people, history, architecture, far different than Montana. And welcome to the family of Aventura World. When you travel with us, you're safe and secure in our hands, as our guests have been since 1972. Now, what do we gain for this particular program? If you look at the brochure that's in front of you, on the front cover, underneath the picture of Florence, at the bottom left-hand corner, you'll see Kimberly's contact details, telephone, email address. Any questions you may have, when you fill out this form, that's who you'll bring in the registration form to. As we open up the inside of the left of this program is the map which we're looking at. We've got our included features. We have included features of the extension. We'll talk about it in a moment. We got the destination highlights, and then from the inside left, continuing to inside right, you will find the day-to-day plans. This particular program is classed as from a 1 to 5 in activity level. It's classed as a 3. Really because, you know, the airline going across, it's an overnight going, it's a full day coming back. There are some cobblestones, but it isn't we do provide travel plans for mature American travelers. So it's designed for you in mind, but in that gauge, it's a 3. So it's a medium program. We have the pricing, and then let's talk about what we've got. Round trip air out of Missoula. We've got accommodations for 7 nights in centrally located first class hotel. We've got daily breakfast, full breakfast, hot and cold meats, bacons, hams, eggs, fresh, crispy continental breads, cheeses, salamis, fresh fruit, cereals, teas, coffees. This hotel has its own cappuccino machine. It takes you a couple of days to figure out how to work it, but the staff are fabulous and they'll help you with it. Once you're there a couple of days, you make fabulous coffee. It's a big gurgling cappuccino machine that they have. Or we have 3 dinners included too. We've got a full day tour of Florence, a full day tour of Pisa and Lucca. We've got including seeing the Leaning Tower, the Duomo and Baptistry. We've got a full day tour of Siena, full day tour of San Gimignano and the Chianti region. So all tours are included except one. You got 1 free day. We've got the wine tasting. Oh, I apologize, but I didn't mention San Gimignano and the Chianti with wine tasting. We've got our cultural discovery series. We'll be learning about the stonemasons in Florence. We've got wine tasting in the Chianti region, and we've got visiting that authentic farm for dinner. We've got a tour director on one of these programs. They've forgotten more about Italy than we will ever know. Deluxe air-conditioned motor coaches, baggage handling for 1 piece of luggage to go underneath the aircraft, and in addition, 1 carry-on and 1 personal item. All this for $1 short of $3,000. So I'm hopeful now that you understand the true value that we bring forth when you have air all the way from Missoula. That is an early bird discount price. As long as you sign up by October 23, that's the price that you pay. It goes up by $100 after that. It's not a lot more money, but it's better to be in your pocket than in ours. I'll get you a couple of pairs of gloves or quite a bit of wine on the program. The fuel surcharges are included in the price of the trip. There is, like any major city in the United States, there are land taxes. The land taxes are $150, which are paid at final payment. They are additional to that particular price. Now, while we're there, a lot of people say, well, I'm already here, I'd like to stay a little bit longer. About 65% of our travelers say we'd like to stay longer, so we're going to stay longer for 2 nights. We're going to go from the Tuscany area, head through the center of Italy and arrive to the capital. All roads lead to Rome, and we've got 2 nights in Rome. From the 15th through to the 17th. 2 nights in first-class centrally located hotels. Daily breakfast, again, full breakfast. Got a sightseeing tour of Rome. Upon arrival, we've got a tour director on the program. We got a deluxe air-conditioned motor coaches, baggage handling. $5.99 a person, double occupancy. $7.98 is single. Upon arrival in Rome, we have a panoramic city tour. We'll see the Parthenon area. You'll see the Colosseum, Trevi Fountain, again the Parthenon, and then check into the hotel. The next day is either a free day or we've got a tour which is, again, with you in mind and only with you. We don't do multi-languages. We don't bring trips together. So it is to the Vatican City, one of the smallest in actual countries in the world. It has its own post office. It has its own its mail system, which is all underground underneath the square that you can see. Of course, it's the seat of the Catholic religion. It is also one of the wealthiest countries in the world. It owns most of the gas stations in Italy. As you go through Italy, you'll see a yellow sign with a black griffin on. That's owned by the Vatican. But as we know, they own many other things too. It's home of the Pope. And here we are in the main square of the the Swiss Guard, not the Spanish Guard, the Swiss Guard. You'll see we'll head down through the corridor of pillars into the Vatican Museum. So the emphasis, we could get lost in the Vatican Museum for weeks, but the emphasis of the museum is to see the Sistine Chapel. The Sistine Chapel, about two years ago, the renovation was finished, and it is original glory. As you go through, and you may be able to see it right here, I'll point two out to you, but you'll see a couple of black sections here and here. There are a couple of places that they left unrenovated, so you can see a before and after section, but you can see the vibrant colors, the work of art, and just the amount of time that it took to bring forth this chapel. Its walls, but importantly, what most people say is its ceiling is a work of art. We'll see other pieces of art whilst we're wandering through, but again, this is our major emphasis. Before we know it, we'll have spent 2 nights in Rome. We'll have had some free time to wander, and we'll be coming back to Montana, again with spectacular memories of the Tuscan countryside and such. And Rome too. Visas for US passport holders, no visa is required in advance. Upon arrival at our first destination in Europe, you get a stamp in your passport, good for 90 days, and it's a multiple entry. How do we sign up? Nice and easy. Using the registration form on the back of this particular brochure. If you are filling this out, we ask you please, if you could use your Sunday best handwriting, we'd greatly appreciate it. And if you could write it in caps, even better. Our reservation agents will be extremely pleased if you could do that. If you have handwriting like what I have, I will show you a different way to reserve in a moment. But it brings out your name as it appears in your passport. Importantly, you don't need to have a passport to reserve. We don't have many people here tonight, but historically we do a lot of Chambers of Commerce presentations. For some reason, we don't get a whole host of people to come to these events, but there is a lot of people either ready to sign up or very interested in this trip. So to make sure that you get your space locked in, if you need a passport, don't wait for it to come. Reserve as soon as you know you want to go, and then get a copy of your passport to Kimberly at a later stage. But your name, if you don't have a passport, the name as it appears in your birth certificate, that's what they'll use. If not, your passport, first name, middle name, or middle initial, last name, your date of birth, your passport number if you have it, country of issue, expiration date, your billing address, street, city, state, zip code. We are a wholesaler of travel, not a travel agent. We ask for your email address because we send invoices to you. We don't email you every special under the sun. We never email you at all unless you sign up, and the only thing we will email to you is information on the trip that you are reserved with us. So give us your email address. When you do sign up, there's an automatic generation within about 7 days, once we've processed your payment, which comes back to you. It comes from info@aventuraworld.com. your email might not recognize that. It might go into your spam, so just watch for it. We get a lot of people saying they never got it. We know it goes there, but it just goes into spam. So your email address, home phone number, business or cell. Straight after that, we get into the optional day tours. You have all the way until 90 days before you go to sign up for the day tours. But if you want to do it here and now and just one less thing to do later on, you can reserve your day tours now. Yes, I'd like them. No, I don't. Please tick the box. Different being the optional extension. We are creating different air accommodations for you. We're creating and blocking hotels in Rome for you. So if you want to go on the extension, we ask you to sign up for that at the time of initial reservation or shortly thereafter, as soon as you know you want to go on the extension. It will sell out. It's not just the Missoula Chamber on this date. Sign up as soon as you want to go. If you do, sign up for it and say you want it. We do require payment for it. We'll come to that in a moment. You'll tick yes or no, and then the total underneath. Now, travel protection. We hope you all take out the travel protection or insurance, and we hope you waste your money on it. You're not going on this trip.
Highly advise it.
Highly advisable. Highly advisable. If you've been on a program and somebody didn't take it out and they need it, then you will always take it out. I always, when I go on a trip with my family, take it out because I've seen it happen too many times. You're not going on this trip, however, to see if insurance works or not. You're going for fun, camaraderie, adventure through travel, but it's usually the time you don't take it out, it's the time you need it. It covers medical. Should a doctor say you can't go on the trip before you leave, it'll cover the price of the trip. An immediate family member in the same way, it'll cover it. It'll cover medical on the program itself, trip interruption, travel delays, misconnections, emergency evacuation from wherever you are to a place wherever you need to go. It covers lost baggage, personal effects, and baggage delays. If taken out within the initial reservation or 15 days after, it covers pre-existing conditions too. I think we all have pre-existing conditions. It's well worth taking it out, well worth protecting you and your investment. You'll see here, it's from one of our partners called CSA. You'll see there an 800 number, you'll see a tour code. I'll show you where you can find that in a moment. So if you look right here and you look at your brochure, you'll see this red line right here. And right above the red line, you can find a link that either you type into your browser or click on it if it's on the computer, and it will launch the insurance page. And it will show you the features that I've just discussed. And it has an 800 number there. I strongly recommend that if you have any questions about the insurance, don't call Kimberly, call the 800 number that's on this link. They forgot, like our tour directors in Italy, they forgot more about insurance than we will ever know. And they are trained and assessed by every state. They know the state laws of Montana, they know the state laws of Washington State. They're legally allowed to talk about insurance. Call them and find out about it. It is taken on the price of the trip, however. So it's not about age, it's not about anything like that, it's just the price of the trip itself. So if you look at this, you have in here, the premium cost starts from $3,001 to $3,500. Now the price of the trip is only $2,999. Now, why don't we have a price below? Because it's the entire price of the trip. Remember, there is $150 land taxes and fees due at final payment. So it just brings us slightly over the $3,000 mark. So
you can do it for the cheapest one.
You can do it if you're not on the extension.
Okay, if you're getting an extra trip, then it's in the next category.
If you take the 2 day tours, and you're just on the program itself without an extension, it's $191 a person. If you do the extension, it goes up by, what is that, $59. Not a lot of money, but it just goes up a little bit more, because if you cancel, they'll have to pay a little bit more.
That's exactly what happened to me.
Yeah.
I signed up and paid for a whole trip to Ireland and Scotland. The day before we were ready to go, I fell and broke my ankle.
Oh, yeah.
I did not go. I got all my money back.
Yeah.
All of it. I was amazed.
It's well worth it. It's
Yeah.
well worth it. So we really emphasize how important we class this. So we've got a yes, I'd like it, no, I wouldn't. So please check which one. Yes, I do, no, I wouldn't. And then straight underneath there, we've got a worksheet for the initial payment, the deposit. This isn't for the full cost of the trip. So it's $500 per person to reserve your space. That's all we need if that's all you want to do. If you don't want to do the day tours now, if you don't want to do the extension, if you don't want the insurance, all we need is $500 per person to reserve your space. And then we do need one form per person. I forgot to mention that. And then we've got the optional day tours. If you tick yes, then include the amount in there. So drop in there the amount of the day tours in that next line. If you tick yes, I would like the optional extension.
I don't understand what that means.
The Rome extension.
Oh, okay, and the other two are up there in
The day tours, yes, of Cinque Terre and the Vatican tour.
Okay.
On the extension.
Yeah.
So there's only one day tour, as I said, on the main program. And then include that in there if you'd like it. Lastly, the travel insurance. Based on the total price of the trip, including the $150 and the optional tours. Drop that in there, and then you'll see and total that up, and then the total will be how much you'll be charged at the initial deposit. Yes? Final payment is due 90 days before we go. Okay? 90 days before we go. Straight underneath that next section, we've got a notes section. Anything you need us to know about you as a traveler, let us know. Low sodium, fat-free diets, one of your family members, I'm flying out of Chicago, that they put that in there, and we'd get them a price out of Chicago. Payment for the initial deposit and final payment can be done by check, made payable to Aventura World, and deposit and final payment can be made by credit card too, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, or Discover. There's a section down there that states your name appears on your credit card number, security code, and your expiration date. Underneath that next section is the cancellation policy that that this program holds to. That if you don't have the insurance, it is covered in that way. If it's not a covered event by the insurance. Then we've got the authorization to charge your credit card underneath there. You'll notice there in bold, I authorize $ space. That section there is the amount you'll put in there is from the worksheet above. So again, to make it easy, if all you want to do is put $500 down, there'll be $500 drops down from the worksheet, and you put I authorize $500. But if you want the insurance, please make sure that you authorize us to buy the insurance policy on your behalf by totaling up the initial payment correctly and then authorizing that. If you tick yes and you only give us $500, we're going to have to give Kimberly a call and say, Mrs. Smith didn't give us the money to buy or authorize us to charge her card for the insurance. Can you find out if she really wants it? Lastly, sign it and date it. The date is taken on a first come, first served basis. So again, I'm not saying sign up tonight, but if you know you want to go, sign up sooner than later to avoid disappointment, not if, but when this trip sells out.
So it does sell out, because I was
Yeah.
told it would not.
Yes, they can sell out, yes, without a doubt.
And how many is that if it sells out?
Well, you know, it's by the, we can always put multiple buses, and sometimes we have multiple buses on our programs, but we have buses that will fill up to, that seat up to 50 people. We don't like to put more than 42 people on a bus. So, you know, with having multiple entities on one date, you know, we might fill up quite quickly. And then we need X amount of people, usually 15 or 20, before we open up a second bus. Now, if you have handwriting like what we have, like what I have, we have our booking engine too. No need to write down where it is. It's underneath Kim's name on the front, www.aventuraworld.com/booking. And it's also on the registration form at the top in red. You'll come to this page. You'll put in the booking number, which is B002493. In that box there, press login, and it will pull something up the same as what we have here. There are a couple of red stars on some of the fields that are required. If you don't fill out those required fields, it'll tell you to go back. Once you've got all the fields in there, it will come to a payment page. You can put your credit card in there. It's a secure page. It'll calculate it all up. It'll tell you, do you want insurance? You'll say no. It'll say, are you sure? You'll click it once more. And if you do say yes, it will calculate automatically what the price of the insurance is. It'll ask you, do you want the tours, etc., and it'll give you that calculation. As soon as you press send, you'll gain notification that we have your reservation in hand. Kimberly will get a copy that John and Alice Smith, or your last names, have signed up, and we'll get all the details. The chamber only gets your name and your contact details that you've signed up on the trip. Okay. We certainly hope you'll come along on a great trip with the chamber in 2020. And any questions?
Yes. Several. Do your buses have restrooms on them?